Does the idea of books spark joy inside of you? Does it spark so much joy inside of you that you literally want to read all of them? Then you've come to the right place. Hey Word Nerds, happy Tuesday. So if you've been following book Twitter or social media at all recently, you've probably seen all the hubbub about the new Tidying Up show with Marie Kondo, where she talks about getting rid of stuff that doesn't spark joy inside of you. There was all this stuff about books that was a lot of misunderstanding and all of that. We're not going to get into any of that today. Instead, what we're going to talk about is using this same method to prune down our TBR lists. Over on Goodreads, my own TBR list is way out of hand. There are way more books on that list than I will ever find the time to read. Some of them have been sitting there since as long as 2010, and I still haven't found the time to read them. So today I wanted to try applying this Konmari method of tidying things up and getting rid of things that don't spark joy inside your heart to my TBR list to see if I can figure out which books I really need to make the time to read and which ones that it's time to let go of. Obviously, pruning your TBR list is kind of a tricky thing because you never know which books you're going to fall in love with. You're looking at the cover and the blurb and reviews and trying to make your best possible guess about which books you are going to fall in love with, which ones are going to be your 5-star reads, and which ones you could probably just skip altogether. So I'm going to go through, have a look at some of the books on my list, figure out which ones spark at least the potential of joy, and go from there. So first up, that same book that's been on my list since 2010 is The Dwarves by Marcus Heitz. This is a book I own a copy of. I've owned it for a long time. I've always wanted to read it because it inspires kind of Gimli vibes inside me. The beginning of the blurb is, "For countless millennia, no man or beast has ever succeeded in breaching the stone gateway into Girdlegard. Until now, abandoned as a child, Tungdil, the blacksmith, is the only dwarf in a kingdom of men." And I already know right away that I am going to struggle to find time to read this, but I do still want to do it. Since I own the paperback, it's in a box somewhere, I can't even get rid of it right now if I want to, I'm going to go ahead and keep this one on my list. Next up is Article 5 by Kristen Simmons. I feel like this book had a lot of hype back in 2012 when it first came out. It's been on my list for a long time. New York, Los Angeles, and Washington, D.C. have been abandoned. The Bill of Rights has been revoked and replaced with the moral statutes. So I'm basically seeing that this is a post-apocalyptic book, which is a genre I really enjoy. I like the cover, the reviews seem okay, but I think I'm going to go ahead and give this one a pass and take it off my TBR list because there are a lot of books in this genre. It is one I really like, but odds are I'm never going to find time to read this book over a bunch of other books in the same genre. And really, worst case scenario, I can always re-add it to the list later if something jumps out at me and tells me I need to be reading this book, but for now it's time to let it go. Speaking of post-apocalyptic, the next book on my list is the Bull Omnibus by Hugh Howey. Hugh Howey's Wool was kind of a self-publishing superstar kind of thing where he got a paperback deal but got to keep the ebook rights for himself. I've heard good things about the story. Matt's read it and he kind of liked it, but it didn't amaze him. And I keep putting off reading this book even though I love Hugh Howey. And I think maybe it's that Hugh Howey and what he's done for self-publishing is what sparks joy inside of me. And this book is just kind of there. I want to read it, but it's not really my kind of thing. It's kind of daunting. And I've heard mixed things about whether or not it's the kind of book I would enjoy. So I'm going to take this one off my list as well, although I do also own the paperback. So when I do finally unpack all of my boxes, I reserve the right to change my mind. Oh no, just when things were going so well, somehow the last chunk of this video didn't come with any audio when I went to edit it. So I will just let you all know that the last book on my list, which was Eleanor Park by Rainbow Rowell, did manage to maintain its place just because I always trust that particular author to bring me joy, even if the story doesn't usually sound like something I'd enjoy. So hopefully I will be checking that one out sometime soon, and if any of you have TBR lists that are getting kind of out of control, I'd love for you to give this a go and let me know how it turns out in the comments down below, because I think we all try to think we're going to have time to read all of the books, and sometimes it's better to just let them go and focus on the books you are most excited to read in the moment. So that's it for me today, but don't forget to join us on Sunday for our next live chat. We're going to be talking about Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban, and I'm sure that is going to be a lot of fun. So hopefully we'll see you all there, and of course in the meantime, happy reading, happy writing, and I'll see you all next time.